Hey, have you ever watched something that didn't just entertain you but actually stayed with you?
Yeah, a few times.
Why? I finished the series last night and I can't stop thinking about it.
That usually means it hit something deeper.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It wasn't just a story,
Then what was it?
but it felt too real. Real how? The characters, they weren't perfect. They made bad decisions.
Like actual people.
Exactly. And the worst part is, I understood those decisions.
That's when it gets uncomfortable.
Yeah, because at some point, I realized I would probably do the same.
That's a strong reaction.
It is. I wasn't expecting that. I just wanted something to relax.
And instead, you started thinking about your life.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Or maybe you need it.
Maybe.
What was the story about?
It's about a guy who slowly loses control of his life.
Slowly?
Yeah, that's what makes it scary. Not one big mistake, but small ones.
That feels more real.
Exactly. One bad decision, then another, then another.
And suddenly, everything is different.
Yeah, and the crazy part is he always had a reason.
So he didn't see himself as the bad guy.
Not at all. He thought he was doing the right thing. That's dangerous. That's what hit me. Why? Because I started thinking,
Thinking what?
what if I'm doing the same thing in my life and I just don't see it?
That's a heavy thought,
It is.
but also an important one.
Yeah, I guess so. You know what's strange?
What?
I didn't even enjoy the show in the normal way.
What do you mean?
It wasn't fun, it was intense.
But you kept watching.
I couldn't stop. Why? Because I needed to see what would happen to the character, not just to the character, but to myself.
To yourself?
Yeah, how I would react, what I would feel, what I would realize.
That sounds more like a mirror than a show.
That's exactly what it felt like.
And what did you see?
That I avoid things.
Avoid what?
Difficult decisions, uncomfortable truths.
That's normal.
Yeah, but seeing it like that, so clearly?
Makes it harder to ignore.
Exactly.
Do you think that's why the show stayed with you?
Yeah, because it didn't let me escape.
Even after it ended?
Especially after it ended. You know what's funny?
What?
I started watching it to relax, to disconnect.
And you ended up more connected than ever.
Yeah, to things I usually ignore.
So would you recommend it?
That's the thing.
Yeah?
I don't know. Why not? Because not everyone wants to feel like that.
That's fair.
Some people just want entertainment.
And this isn't that.
Not really.
But for you,
For me, it was important.
important how?
It made me think about things I've been avoiding for a long time.
That's powerful.
Yeah, I think I needed that.
Most people do. They just don't realize it. It's weird.
What is? How something fictional can feel more real than real life.
Maybe because it shows the truth without distractions.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
So now what?
Now I can't just ignore what I saw.
That's the real impact.
Yeah, it's not just a show anymore.
It became a question.
Exactly. I thought I was watching a story,
And
turns out I was watching myself.
You look different today. Different how? Lighter. Like something changed.
Maybe it did.
What happened?
Nothing big, that's the strange part.
Those are usually the important ones.
Yeah, I was walking this morning,
Okay.
and for the first time in a long time, I wasn't thinking about anything.
That's rare.
Very rare.
So, what were you doing?
Just walking, feeling the air, hearing the sounds.
Being present.
Exactly. And then I realized something.
What?
I'm always somewhere else.
What do you mean?
My body is here, but my mind is always in the future.
Or the past.
Yeah, but never here.
That's how most people live.
I know, but I didn't notice it until today. It felt peaceful.
Just that moment?
Just that moment. And it was enough.
That's powerful.
It made me question something.
What?
Why do I keep chasing big things when this felt better than anything?
Because we're taught that happiness is something big,
Yeah, something you achieve.
not something you notice.
Exactly. And now I'm thinking,
Thinking what?
maybe I've been ignoring the best parts of my life.
That's a hard realization,
It is.
but also a good one.
Yeah, it changes how you see things. I don't think I need more to be happy.
Just more awareness.
Exactly.
So, what will you do differently?
Slow down.
That's not easy.
No, but now I know what I'm missing. I thought happiness was something I had to find.
And
Turns out it was already there. I just wasn't paying attention.
I keep telling myself I want to read more.
But you don't.
No, I don't.
Why do you think that is?
I start and then I stop every time.
Do you enjoy what you're reading?
Honestly, no,
Then why are you reading it?
because I feel like I should.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it feels like work.
Reading shouldn't feel like pressure.
I think I forgot that. When I was younger, I used to enjoy it.
What changed?
Life, distractions.
Or expectations?
Yeah, that too. I try to read important books.
Instead of interesting ones.
Exactly.
So you're not reading for yourself.
I guess not.
You're reading to feel productive.
That hits. Maybe that's why I stop.
Because it's not real curiosity.
So, what should I do?
Start small.
With what?
Something you actually care about.
Even if it's not useful?
Curiosity is always useful.
I thought I needed discipline to read more.
And
Turns out, I just needed interest.
I've been thinking about success.
Yeah?
I don't think I understand it anymore.
What do you mean?
I always thought it was money.
That's the common definition.
Yeah, but something feels off. I see people who have everything.
And
They don't look at peace.
that's more common than people admit.
So what are we all chasing?
Sometimes the wrong thing.
That's scary.
It is.
So what is success for you?
Peace.
That simple?
Simple, not easy.
I think for me, it's freedom.
That's powerful.
Not feeling trapped.
That's real success.
Maybe success isn't what we were told.
Maybe it's what we discover.
I saw my ex today. How did that feel? Not how I expected. In what way? I thought I would feel something strong, and I felt calm. That's a big change. Yeah, it surprised me. We talked for a bit. Was it awkward? At first, then it felt normal. That says a lot. Yeah, I realized something. What? I don't miss them. Not at all. I miss the idea, not the reality. That's honest. It is. I think I was holding on to a version that doesn't exist anymore. That happens a lot. Seeing them today, yeah, it closed something inside me. I thought closure had to be a big moment, and sometimes it's just realizing you've already moved on.
What is that letter?
It is a letter I wrote to my father 6 months ago. I never sent it.
Why not?
Because I am not sure he would understand. But writing it helped me. And today I want to read it, for the first time, out loud.
I am honored. Go ahead.
Dear Dad, I am 38 years old, and I am still waiting to hear you say, I'm proud of you. I don't think that day is coming anymore, and that is okay. I want you to know something. I understand you now better than I did before. You grew up in a family where those words were never said, so how could you say them to me? You showed love in other ways. You worked every day without complaining. You were always there. You never left. That is a kind of love. I know that now. But the little girl inside me still wanted the words. She still does. I am not angry at you anymore, Dad. I am sad for both of us, for the words that never came, and for the words you probably never received either. I love you, even without the 3 words I needed most. Your daughter, Clara.
That was... I don't have words.
You don't need words. Just being here is enough.
Do you think your father knows how much those words would have meant?
No, I don't think he knows. Not because he doesn't care, but because nobody ever taught him that words matter.
That is a very generous way to see it.
It took me years to get here. I was angry for a long time.
What changed?
I started asking, what did his childhood look like? Who told him they were proud of him? And the answer is probably nobody.
He could not give what he never received.
Yes, that sentence changed everything for me. You cannot give what you never had.
And now, how do you feel about your father today?
I feel sad for him, and I feel free. Not because the wound disappeared, but because I stopped waiting.
Stopped waiting for the words?
Yes, I decided to give myself what I needed, to say to myself, I'm proud of you. You are doing well.
You became the parent you needed.
Yes, that's exactly it. And that was the most important thing I ever did for myself.
Is there something you wished someone had told you?
Maybe it's time to stop waiting and start saying it to yourself.
Some people grow up without hearing the words they needed most. That's a real wound.
But healing begins when you stop waiting for others to give you what you can give yourself.
Is there something you are still waiting to hear? Write in the comments. You are not alone.
You look exhausted. What is going on?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Tell me, from the beginning.
I have been working in finance for 12 years. Good salary, good title. Everyone thinks I have a great life.
But
But I wake up every morning and feel nothing. No excitement, no energy, just emptiness.
how long has this been happening?
About 2 years, maybe more. But last month was the worst. I sat at my desk and cried, and I don't even know why.
That is burnout. Your body and mind are saying enough.
I know, but I don't know what to do. Stay? Leave? And if I leave, for what?
What happens if you stay?
Financial security. My family depends on me. Everything is stable.
And what does staying cost you?
My health, my energy, maybe my marriage. I am not present.
And if you leave?
Fear. Starting again feels impossible.
Impossible or just unfamiliar?
Mostly unfamiliar.
And what could leaving give you?
Time, space, maybe purpose.
If you were not afraid of money, what would you do?
I would work with young people, mentoring.
That sounds real.
It felt real.
So how do you start?
One step.
Exactly. One step today.
Burnout is a signal.
You don't need the full answer. Just one step.
You seem confident today.
I was not always like this.
What changed?
My beliefs.
Like what?
I believed I was not smart enough.
And now?
I know I can learn anything.
Where did that belief come from?
A teacher. One sentence. 20 years.
That is powerful.
Yes, but also dangerous.
What else changed?
I stopped accepting beliefs as facts.
And started questioning them.
Exactly.
And what did you find?
Most beliefs were just stories.
Not truth.
Not truth.
And now?
I rewrite the story.
That changes everything.
Everything.
I read something interesting today. What was it? Busy people are less happy. That is surprising. Busyness became status, but not happiness. Exactly. What else? People with more free time are happier than those with more money. Really? Yes, long term. Why? Time allows connection, rest, meaning. And money? Temporary satisfaction. So we trade time for money without noticing. That is dangerous. Time is the only thing you cannot get back. That changes how I see everything.
When you fell in love, how did it feel?
Like my brain never stopped.
Thinking about the person?
All the time.
Like a fever?
Exactly.
That is biology.
Really?
Dopamine increases, serotonin decreases.
So it is like obsession.
Yes, in a way.
That explains everything.
And later?
It becomes calmer.
A different kind of love.
Deeper.
Not weaker.
Stronger.
So the fever is not love.
It is the beginning.